the forklift operator was just telling me about another TMC guy that had this happen to him yesterday, and he got super frustrated because his plastic kept on blowing off. Now, don't let that be you. Anchor your plastic down. That way you don't get frustrated and angry when you're having problems with this wind. What's up guys, the Everyday Trucker here, back with another video. And today we are in Virginia. We're actually picking up some lumber from a place that I've been to a whole bunch of times. So this particular place is nothing new to me, but it looks like today I am in line to get done very early, for me at least. Short backstory on today's load. The load that I had this morning was also some lumber that I had picked up from the port of Wilmington in North Carolina. And I got unloaded with that stuff like at 5:30 a.m. this morning, which is relatively rare. Most places don't open that early, but got that knocked out. But something to keep in mind with this one, or that one that I was doing, on the Trimble unit that we use, that we get dispatched from in the truck, it said that there was on-site parking for this particular place that I had delivered to last night, which there was, but there was overnight parking after hours. So after all the customers and employees left, their front lot had space. But this morning, that space where I was being taken up by, as the previously mentioned, employees and customers. Now, fortunately, I got there about 9:20 last night, which meant my 10-hour break was going to be done at 7:20 this morning. And they unloaded me, but I still had some time left to sit on my clock before I had the refresh. And so I still needed to sit there before I could actually leave. Like, they were trying to get me to drive away after I got unloaded. But you know, if I had done that, you know, I only had an hour and 15 minutes on my clock when I got up this morning. If I had done that, I would have driven, you know, wherever to find a place to sit, and then I would have had to have been sitting for 10 hours before I got the rest of my time back, you know. So it would have completely ruined my day. All right guys, I'm back. Had to talk to the forklift operator real quick, but yeah, if I'd had to leave when they were trying to get me to go, it would have completely destroyed my work day. You know, I would have had to find somewhere to sit, and for 10 hours, like, I would have been screwed. But fortunately, the forklift operator, the people there, they were working with me, and I was able to squeeze off into a little nook, I think normally where they would have some of their own guys parking their cars, but I was able to sit there until I got my my refresh completed. And fortunately, by the time my refresh got completed around 8:30 a.m., I had actually gotten dispatched on my next load as well, because I had put in my empty after I got unloaded. So that worked out, I think, about as well as it could have. But the thing about it, when I saw that the place had on-site parking on my Trimble unit, what I always do, I always check, and I Google Maps or Google Earth the delivery location to see what the lot looks like that I'm actually going to be pulling into, if I have enough hours to make it all the way there when I pick up. And I saw that lot that I was driving to, or the customer I was driving to, that their lot was small. It wasn't like a huge parking lot, you know. So I was thinking, you know, first off, where am I going to go, you know, if there's another truck already there when I show up? And this place that I was delivered to, like, the closest truck stop before that place was like an hour and 15 minutes away. So, you know, I didn't want to wait there, you know, especially not when I had the information that they had on-site parking. But that's just something to keep in mind, guys. You gotta, you know, make a plan A, B, and sometimes C for your parking situation. You know, when I saw what that lot was looking like, I was suspecting that what happened to me this morning was going to happen. I was thinking that last night. and it did. But like I said, fortunately, I was able to work things out with the customer there, and they were willing to let me stay there as long as for the period of time that I needed, so I could get my reset and get going. Because I told that guy, you know, I was gonna have to wait for 10 hours if I left. He was like, you know, yeah, we don't want you to have to do that. So thanks to that guy. I don't remember his name, actually. I didn't ask for it, but helped me out a whole bunch because I'm here now. So we're gonna go ahead and get this lumber secured, throw our tarp on, and we have about 5 hours and 5.5 hours to drive after we go ahead and secure this. And the place that we're delivering to in Georgia does not have on-site parking, but fortunately there is a rest area that is about 30 minutes away from the consignee. And with us getting there this early, I mean, if I left right now, I would get to this rest area around 5 p.m. So I'm gonna go ahead, hurry up, secure this, and tarp it and get up out of there. So I should be there no later than, you know, 7 p.m. That's with me going slowly. So we're gonna get done early today, and we'll be able to start our clock whenever we want to tomorrow morning to get to this delivery and get ourselves on the board for another well-paying load. So without further ado, let's go ahead, knock this out. All right, here's the lumber that I have to secure, and there's nothing special about this compared to any other lumber that I've picked up. So we're gonna go ahead and do 2 straps on each set of these bundles. So strap in the front, strap in the rear, of course with our X straps to begin, and we'll just work our way on down. But for this stuff, we have to actually put a layer of plastic over top of this to protect it from any moisture in addition to the tarp. So I'll go ahead and knock that out first, because they actually want you to put your straps over top of the plastic. So we need to have that be our first step. But it's a little windy out here. Not super strong, but it's strong enough that it can blow that light plastic off. So I'm gonna need to try to put something on top of the plastic to weigh it down while I'm rolling it out over top of the load. All right, here's the plastic that I was telling you guys about that you have to roll out over the trailer. It's rolled up into a tube, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stretch it out over top of the load here. That way we can go ahead and throw our straps before we tarp. All right guys, a tip for when you're rolling out this plastic, like I said, the wind could be a bit of a problem. You can see how the wind's already blowing that around. That's enough wind gust to blow this off as I'm stretching it out over the load. So what you want to make sure that you do is take something on top of the trailer with you to weigh down the plastic so that the wind doesn't blow it off. So I'm going to take 4 of these straps that are rolled up and just place them as I'm rolling the plastic out to keep the plastic in place where I want it to be. Otherwise I'm going to have a problem with it blowing all the way off the trailer. Portion of this plastic rolled out, you can see right there like that. Now I put some straps up there, like I said, to anchor it down. Now the very first thing you want to do after you've started to roll it out a little bit and you've put some anchors down to keep it still, you want to immediately come down and tie it off on both sides, so the passenger side and the driver's side. As you can see, that wind is blowing like that already. Now, if I didn't have this anchored down, the wind would have already taken this off and blown it. The forklift operator was just telling me about another TMC guy that had this happen to him yesterday, and he got super frustrated because his plastic kept on blowing off. Now, don't let that be you. Anchor your plastic down. That way you don't get frustrated and angry when you're having problems with this wind. Now, I want to do the same thing as I roll it out, or after I roll it out all the way to the end. You want to go ahead and anchor the back as well. You want to anchor the passenger and driver side. That way, even if the wind gets under it, when you're opening the plastic at the top, when you're stretching it out on the driver and passenger side, the way the wind doesn't get underneath it and blow it anywhere. It stays right where it is because you have it anchored down. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out real quick, then we can go ahead and get to our straps. All right, guys, here's a prime example. The wind already got a hold of it and blew it from one side to the other. But here he goes, look at that. It doesn't take very much. But fortunately, I have my 4 corners anchored down, already tied off. So driver's side in the front and the rear here. I have it anchored down on this side, tied down, but I don't have any of my straps weighing it down yet. So it's gonna keep on blowing to one side. But all I gotta do, fortunately, I can fix that from up here. I can just pull it up like this and get it back to where it needs to be. But if I didn't have those anchor points tied down, it would have completely blown the whole thing all the way off of the trailer, and I would have had to climb down continuously to fix it. It'll be extremely annoying very quickly. I mean, look at that. It's a windy enough day out here, but it's crazy. But like I said, once you go ahead and anchor it down, tie it down, and throw a strap on it to hold it in place, that way you can go anchor down the middle points as well. So I got the front and the rear anchored down, and you just need to do it to the sides, otherwise it's going to keep on blowing from one side to the other like it is right now. Go ahead and take care of that. All right, guys, I've got this in place enough, and I actually thought of a bit of a shortcut, because if you're trying to anchor it down and trying to tie down the middle, you might not have enough slack to tie down the middle without tearing it at the corners. So what I'm going to do is, I have the points anchored down. You can see that strap I have holding that side down, and it's tied down right there, and it's that same way on all 4 corners. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start throwing my straps over and use the straps to anchor the rest of this down. Otherwise you'll be fighting with this all day. I mean, you see how the wind is blowing. You'll fight with it literally for hours trying to get this right, and you will waste a lot of time. So let's go ahead and throw our straps. We're good enough now. The straps will hold it down the rest of the way, and then we can cover it with the tarps. Of course, as I put this down, I'll pull it down so that it's actually covering the wood after I throw the straps. That way it'll stay in place. There's no point in me doing it like that right now. Toss these X straps first, like we always do. We're gonna keep these 4-inch straps weighing this down until we throw the 4-inch straps across the load, because this wind is giving us problems today, or it's trying to. There we go. we're gonna go ahead and throw some edge protectors over top of this here, because if you stop short, like you have to hit your brakes, somebody cuts you off, I don't know, like an animal jumps in front of you on the road, or some kid comes running across the street chasing after a ball or something, and you have to hit your brakes. If you have your X straps on here, even if this is, say, something like this, like lumber, and it's not sharp, it's not angled, but the lumber is cut in a way where the cut off ends are abrasive. Now, if you stop short, just the pressure or the weight of your load coming forward pressing against these straps without any edge protectors under there will cut your straps. I've seen it happen to somebody. I have seen it with somebody who I know did not have any edge protectors on their load, on their forward movement protection, and it will cut it, and it cut right up here at the top. Because I talked to the guy after the fact. Fortunately, he was right by a truck stop when it happened. There was a four-wheeler that cut him off. But yeah, this type of stuff can cut if you have particle board, you know, abrasive edged lumber, like most cuts are. Make sure that you're putting your edge protectors on, at least on the front. I know you don't necessarily require edge protectors on the rest of the load, but definitely do it on the front so that your edge protectors stop your forward movement protection, your 2-inch straps, from being cut in the event that you have to stop suddenly and there's a lot of force pressing against them. This wind is crazy. It's blowing this plastic all over the place. I could easily see how this could frustrate somebody so much, make them not even want to do it. When you're dealing with the wind flatbedding, you know, the wind can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. You know, it can be your best friend if it's hot outside, keeping you cool. But if you have to deal with plastic like this, or if you have to deal with folding your tarps or laying them out over a load, you know, the wind can definitely impede you by blowing your tarp back open if you're trying to fold it up, or blowing it off of your load if you're trying to stretch it out, and, you know, being a hazard. As far as like blowing you off of your trailer, you have to watch out for that, because these heavy tarps are definitely have enough mass and weight behind them to actually take you off of the top of your trailer. If the wind gets under them with a good enough gust, it can blow you right off of your trailer if you're not careful. Falling on top of a load is not going to be good for anybody's health. But okay, now we have that forward movement protection established, and we have our edge protectors underneath those spots. That way we don't have to worry about the edge protectors, or the straps rather, getting cut if we have to stop short. Now we can just go ahead and throw the rest of our straps, and that'll hold this plastic down and stop it from moving around so crazily like it is. Now we have 4 sections for this load, so we're going to need 8 straps. 4 straps on the front portion of each section, and 4 straps across for the rear. Super simple. All right, as you can see, throwing those 4-inch straps over top has already got that plastic calmed down. The wind's not able to move it around like it was before. So there's proof right there, guys, that this strategy that I'm telling you does work. You just got to take a little bit of time in the beginning to set it up, but once you get it all together, you don't have anything to worry about. See, tell the difference. Where the straps are, no straps, it's still blowing around. Let's get that back down here. So, Now once we go ahead and throw our straps from the opposite side, then all of this will stay put and we'll be able to winch it down, and we'll tuck in that excess plastic that's hanging over the sides here, and then we can go ahead and tarp it. All right, make sure these match up. I just want to make sure that the area or the pocket where you winch down your strap is the same pocket on the opposite side of the trailer, or in the same position, so that way you're maintaining that even pull on your straps, so your load won't pull one direction or the other. It'll stay stable in the middle where you want it to. Got to get one of these guys, ratcheting winch bar. I've been using this for a very, very long time, but I don't think that I've made a video about it yet. I'll do that. Definitely one of my top 10 tools that a flatbedder should have. This thing is amazing. There we go. Makes things so much easier because I don't have to pull this into the hole, winch it down, take it out, put it in, winch it down, take it out, put it in there one time, crank it up, take it out when I'm done. 10 out of 10 would recommend that tool. I'll see about leaving a link in the description of the video where you guys can find this tool, because you definitely need to have it if you want to save time. Guys, since we got our straps down, as you can see, holding this plastic down, that wind is no longer an obstacle for us, and that was the worst part of this entire pickup, was dealing with the wind and stabilizing that plastic. After you get done with that part, everything is super easy from there. All right, here we are with the finished product of the securement outside of the tarping, but we have our forward movement protection. Of course, you want to have that center X as close to the middle of the load as you can. Mine's a little bit high, but it's still got good coverage on the entire front, all those first 4 bundles there. And as I said, we have our edge protection to keep the strap from being cut if there was any force being pushed against it, because these corners, they're edged just like any cut of lumber is, and if there's any pressure, it's very likely that it would cut right here where the pressure point is on both straps. As I said, I've seen that happen firsthand to someone else. But we got everything here, just 2 straps on every bundle, 1 in the front, 1 in the rear on each bundle here, and it's super easy. I mean, this load actually here, it's less bundles than I normally would get when I've come here in the past. Usually they have another bundle right back here, but that's okay. But I have less bundles. That lets me know that I'm most likely not going to be overweight on this load at all, so I'll probably have a lot of weight to spare, fortunately. So we're gonna go ahead and put our tarp down, but the wind is still blowing, so I'm gonna have to be very quick with rolling out my rear tarp, coming down here and bungeeing it down to the trailer so that the wind doesn't take it off. Because just the same way that I was having problems, or not really, I wasn't having problems because I had my precautions in order, but just the same way that the wind was trying to take a hold of this plastic and blow it off, it'll do that same thing to the tarp and try to blow it off if you don't tether it down quickly enough. And I'll tell you, it'll be a whole lot more effort trying to pick a tarp back up and get it back up there than it would be for this plastic. I mean, for the tarp, you probably have to roll the tarp back up before you try to put it back up here, and that would be a lot of a problem. Maybe you could get the forklift guy to throw it back up here. I mean, if you could find them. When they don't have new trucks to load, they're not really hanging out and about out here, and I'm the only guy that's getting loaded right now. So let's go ahead and knock that out so we can get on the road. Look at this, guys. It is a shame putting this tarp down. Here it is, the end, the rear, and the very front. One single lumber tarp covers 98% of the load. And I gotta use two, just because I can't cover the front with just a single one. That's lame, but that's how it goes sometimes. Actually, you know, you see how this second lumber tarp here is, it's really fat. It's not compressed down as thinly as it could be. The last time I used it, it was cold outside, so it didn't roll up the right way. So I just look at it as an opportunity to tighten that back up. It'll make it easier to fit it in the headache rack there. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and finish. Here we are, all tarped up. Completed product here. And we're just doing our semi pre-trip before we leave. And as I always mention, the semi pre-trip is just like a secondary quick check of everything that I do before I take off, after picking up a new load, and after I've delivered one, which is where I would catch anything that I'd missed before. Like right here, this was the roll for the plastic. I forgot to throw this away. It was sitting right there. So I catch things like that, and I check and make sure that all of my lights are blinking how they should be, and that I've remembered to tighten down every winch, and I put a bungee where it needs to be so that everything rides appropriately when we're going down the road. So see, one thing here, I want to put a bungee through this. I put a bungee through to hold these rabbit ears down on the driver's side, but I forgot to put one right here. So that's two things that I missed, partially because I was kind of getting rushed out of that loading bay right there. So I got everything else. So just one piece of trash, and want to put one extra bungee right here. And aside from that, everything is how it needs to be. X straps, 4-inch straps where they need to be, and we are road ready and road worthy with this truck right now. So we're set, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and toss a bungee on that last place and throw this roll away, and we're on our way to Georgia. I'm gonna get done relatively early today, guys. I'm looking forward to that. Most of my work days don't end until 9 p.m. or later. Emphasis on the later part. More like 10 or 11 is how I'm going most of the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Got time to stop, get a shower, and still get a good parking space for the night. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves set up on that, guys. And I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, you can check the link down below in the description for my Amazon store, where you can see some of the tools that I use that make my job so much easier and faster. But until the next one, guys, I'll catch you all in the next video. Here at Trucker Out.